Let's go ahead and get to Bibi Netanyahu's meeting with Trump at the White House. We can go ahead and put this up on the screen. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he did once again push in the seat for his dear friend, the ICC indicted war criminal, Bibi Netanyahu. It's especially galling because this comes on a day when we found out that the Israelis have murdered another American. This was a Palestinian American child who was shot dead. Two others were shot and wounded by Israeli forces in the occupied West Bank, reporting from Ryan, our friends over at Dropsite News. By the way, make sure and help them out because they appear to be getting significantly suppressed and buried over on Twitter. If you try to search for them, they don't come up. So make sure you're supporting Ryan and Dropsite and Jeremy over there. In any case, let me go ahead and read their reporting. Keep this up on the screen, Eric. They say Omar Mohammed Rabia, a 14-year-old Palestinian with U.S. citizenship, was shot and killed on Sunday by Israeli forces near the West Bank town of Turmas Aya, northeast of Ramallah. Two other Palestinian American boys, aged 14 and 15, also shot and wounded, one in the abdomen, the other in the thigh. Both were taken to a nearby clinic. There is no dispute from the Israelis that they were responsible for this killing. They say that this American citizen was throwing rocks towards a highway. So that was the reason for his killing. The president making, I guess not exactly making news, but reiterating his commitment to the U.S. having a peacekeeping force in a Gaza Strip that has been ethnically cleansed of all Palestinians. Let's go ahead and take a listen to what he had to say.
Well, you know how I feel about the Gaza Strip. I think it's an incredible piece of important real estate, and I think it's something that we would be involved in, but, having a peace force like the United States there, controlling and owning the Gaza Strip would be a good thing. Because right now, all it is for years and years, all I hear about is killing and Hamas and problems. And if you take the people, the Palestinians, and move them around to different countries, and you have plenty of countries that will do that, and you really have a freedom zone. You call it the freedom zone, a free zone, a zone where people aren't going to be killed every day. That's a hell of a place. It's you know what I call it, a great location that nobody wants to live in because they really don't. And when they have good living, real living, where Hamas and all of the problems they have, the level of death on the Gaza Strip is just incredible. And I've said it. I don't understand why Israel ever gave it up. Israel owned it. It wasn't this man, so I can say it. He wouldn't have given it up. I know him very well. There's no way. They took oceanfront property and they gave it to people for peace. How did that work out? Not good.
Just insane. Just insane. It's oceanfront property. Oh, incredible killing there. The guy who's doing the killing is sitting right next to you. But in any case, Saagar, he is apparently not joking about this plan.
Freedom Zone is like a 2005 fever dream of Paul Wolfowitz. Not even they would have the audacity, Paul Wolfowitz and Douglas Feith, to suggest the United States should take occupation of the Gaza Strip. Their mere idiocy idea was let them have elections, and then we won't, basically acknowledge the result of said elections and effectively allow occupation from that point forward. I don't know. I can't even express the rage which is necessary for this idea. It just shows you that if you're my age, everything just comes around. You get to live to see twice 2 great recessions and U.S. troops in the Middle East as a part of it. Literally tax dollars and global treasure going to fund foreign wars, which are basically inconsequential. We just did a whole thing about trade and about China. U.S. bilateral trade with Israel is like $50 billion. It's like a pimple on top of China. Yet with this entire domination of our politics, occupation there, as if we have any strategic interest. The whole thing is preposterous. It's not to mention the humanitarian disaster that we would eventually be responsible for. The only bull case for this is that he's bullshitting and that it won't happen. That's not really a good case to be made in the middle of a massive trade, conflagration that we are right now. So I'm going to take him seriously. I think he definitely wants to do this. And an American boot on the ground in Gaza, occupying this area, is asking for a global ignition of terrorism, of attacks on our troops, and further conflagration, intervention in the region. Anyway. Yeah, I don't even know.
Well, and I think if there's one thing we've learned about Trump 2.0, it's that you should take him both seriously and literally.
Yeah.
Like the idea, oh, he says things, but he doesn't really. No, he's doing the things. So the fact that he's said this multiple times, he's never backed away from it. He's been very consistent. I think you have to take it seriously. And also in the context of Bibi grabbing onto him, this is a great idea. Yeah, you've opened up, he said something like, you've opened up possibilities that never existed before.
It's like,
they've been actively reaching out to countries, be like, hey, will you take Palestinians? So the plans are being put into place. And, at the same time, the genocidal carnage continues in the Gaza Strip with our weaponry and our bombs and our blessing. And the latest horror is these 15 paramedics who were shot and killed, and some of them appear to have been, shot execution style. And then they were buried, and the ambulances were buried by the IDF to try to cover up their blatant war crimes. They lied to the press and the international press and said that, oh, no, they were approaching us suspiciously and they didn't have their lights on, and that's why we responded in this particular way. Well, they did not retrieve the phones of the paramedics who they had slaughtered, and one of them was recording a video of everything that happened that directly rebuts the IDF's lies. And Trey Yingst over on Fox News, who, to his credit, I think has covered this onslaught in Gaza with a lot of integrity, including standing up for Palestinian journalists, something that almost none of the American press corps outside of him has actually done. He did an excellent report on catching the IDF in these blatant lies. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Paramedics from the Palestine Red Crescent dig through the earth of southern Gaza. They're recovering the bodies of their colleagues killed by Israeli forces. On March 23rd, first responders were dispatched to this area of Rafah. When they arrived, Israeli soldiers opened fire.
Health workers should never be a target, and yet we're here today digging up a mass grave of first responders and paramedics.
On March 31st, the IDF provided a statement to Fox News saying, quote, several vehicles were identified advancing suspiciously toward IDF troops without headlights or emergency signals. Video released 5 days later by the Palestine Red Crescent directly contradicts that statement. The IDF also claimed in the initial findings that 9 out of the 15 medics were operatives in Hamas and Islamic Jihad. Asked multiple times for evidence to support that claim, none was provided. Funerals were held late last week for those killed by Israeli bullets. Families mourning the dead, mothers trying to make sense of the senseless. He went to save the martyrs and injured, and we've been waiting for him for a week. We were told that he was either martyred or injured, but I realized that they had killed them from the very first moment. They had killed them and buried them underground. As bodies of these medics rest inside white plastic bags with a photo attached, the face of Rifat Radwan stands out, the man who recorded his final moments with a final message. Forgive me, Mother. This is the path I chose to help people, he said.
And Saagar, we were talking about this. Like, if you were a journalist who's interacting with the IDF at this point, how do you ever believe a word? And I'm not even just talking about this incident. How many times have they just lied flat out to journalists' face, to our face? They'll just make up anything. And only when confronted with indisputable evidence that their narrative was complete and total bullshit, then they'll do some, bullshit. Oh, well, we're going to conduct an investigation. We're going to figure out, okay, sure. Yeah, we've heard that one before.
No, I mean, it's genuinely I mean, the thing is that we just have to sit here and acknowledge the bravery of Trey to even put that on the air over at Fox News. I have rarely seen anything like that in the Western press. I guess the problem is it becomes it's only whenever it's genuinely something is completely undeniable that is it able to make it to air. But then all these other bullshit claims, oh, they had rifles that was all also pushed by everybody, MSNBC, all these New York Times. I mean, the New York Times scandal of it is insane. I remember Ryan alerting me to that, just being like, they literally just took the Israelis' word for it and then buried it in the bottom of a paragraph.
That's right.
They didn't call anyone at the the Red Crescent and were like, what's going on here? What actually happened. They did no reporting on the subject. And this is an organization which won a Pulitzer Prize for their Gaza reporting. It's just nuts. but I don't know. I think it's horrifying. The freedom zone, the continued, the continuation of the war. They did say some words about a ceasefire, but nobody's particularly optimistic right now.
Well, I guess the one thing he didn't give Bibi is I think Bibi wanted the tariffs taken off of him.
yeah, that's right.
I think he didn't get that.
Trump is current. What's the joke? Is like Trump is currently employing BDS.
BDS, yeah.
Trump is currently BDSing Israel more. I mean, let's also just linger there on the and this is where you have a country which would not exist save for the United States, which provides it some $3 billion per year, which basically backstops their entire economy and extends its nuclear security umbrella over them. Where do you get off having any tariffs on American goods? It's not that much.
They actually don't. I think he rolled them back.
Okay,
before
that,
when the trade war was threatened.
How is this? Who do you think you are? You're tariffing our goods. You wouldn't exist if it wasn't for us. Many such cases. But anyway. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.